Alright, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. Today we are looking at a few different things. We have a K100c from EMT Mods. I want to take a look at that, all the build options, let you see if this truck is going to be right for you or if you're just going to stick with the existing K100 from Mr. Overfloater. I'm hesitant to really compare the two, but the reason why I'm saying that is because from what I'm hearing on, Facebook, I'm hearing on Discords, people are saying, you know what, it's so close to the K100e and that one's free, so why am I even going to do that? Well, that's why I'm trying to answer in this video here so you can make the decision for yourself. I'll go through all the build options inside and out. I have a few reservations about it. I have a few things that are really I wasn't even expecting, and they're pretty cool. So I'll let you know, and I will leave it for you to decide. Before we get into that and do our whole build and drive around this K100c, I want to announce that this coming Thursday for the video, we are going to be announcing a winner for another trailer giveaway. Instead, last week we did it with Southern Skinning and the Moss chain floor trailer. We're going to go back to our original one, and we're going to probably come back to Southern Skinning a little bit later on in the month. But for this coming week, we're going to change back to our old format, where I give you 3 different trailers to pick from. And to enter, all you have to do down in the comments of this video is you just have to comment which one of those 3 you would like to win if you win the prize. And then that enters you. So again, pick from one of the 3 trucks, enter it into the comment down below, and that one will be the one that will be given away to you should you win. And we will be announcing it on Thursday's video. That way it gives people a few days to enter into the giveaway. But that's really the news. Let's go ahead and get into all of the build options for this K100c from EMT Mods. Alright, so this is what the truck looks like by default, straight when you come right into the shop. And let's go ahead and start with the cabins. We have a small sleeper on here, so nothing separate, it's just built in all in one. And then we also have the Aerodyne. I'm going to be going through some of the options, and we'll build kind of a mock-up, and I'm going to show you at the end, once right before the drive, the way I've done it. I have actually done it like an Aerodyne, so let's go ahead and design this one so that it looks like a sleeper. The chassis, we have 2 different options. We've got a 6x4 short or regular, and a 6x4 long. Up to you which one you would like to choose. We'll stay with the outside, and let's go ahead and go through all the paints. These are actually some of the same paints that come on his other trucks, especially the International 9600. So if you are familiar with those, these same skins come along with it, and on all these, or most of these anyway, you can end up changing the colors too. So don't forget about that. Pretty cool. Well, I wouldn't do that exactly. That's not a good look. I'm just picking some colors. Here, I'll pick a scheme. Color scheme. Let's go with another one. And it'll still have that flake, and it'll still have that pattern of whatever you pick. So anyway, those are the same skins that came with the 9600. I'm going to pick this one for my build when we drive. And I can't remember exactly how I have it set up. I think I might have it set up kind of like this, with a, I think it was a brown skin. Let me check it out. I think it's going to look something like this. I think maybe brown though. Something more like that. So for this one, let's just go ahead. Is this like soccer ball theme? I've run this one before on the 9600. Let's just go ahead and go with this. And we'll go with, I'm not opposed to a green. And then we'll make this like a dark color. That looks different. Okay, so let's just go with that for now. The options on the outside, the accessories, we'll go ahead and start with the bumper. And with the bumper, we have tons of options. And with all of these, you're basically going to get aluminum in 8 different varieties, and then chrome in those same varieties. So I'm just going to go through the chrome ones. Here's what the aluminum looks like, just for starters. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Just looks like a flat aluminum. But then if we want to go, and here's what the chrome looks like in that same variant. Shiny, so you can take a look at it. You can move around a little bit so you can see the reflection and see the quality in the chrome. And then we'll go through all of the different varieties as well. So there's the first variant. Here's number 2, number 3. And I'm not going to take the time to put lights on it. You guys can do that. Number 4, number 5. Ooh, we get some license plates. I don't think we get to pick from them, though. That would be nice. Number 6. Number 7. So we do have a... Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I would like to be able to pick out these license plates. Obviously, let me see. If I click on one of these nodes, do I get the opportunity for license plates? I do. So I can always put these here, but I'd like to make those go away. So what I'd probably do is I'd pick a couple of these with like logos and stuff like that as well. I'd go along with that, but I'd probably go ahead and pick out another bumper then. I'd probably go ahead and pick out like number 2. Number 2 doesn't have that, so that is a way around it. Otherwise, it would be kind of cool to be able to customize those. So those are the bumper options. Let's get back out of here. And then we'll move on to the headlights. Headlights, we've got one shape basically, and you can decide, do you want color around them, do you want chrome around them, or do you want aluminum around them? Alright, so let's move on to the grille now. And with the grille, you can get it in aluminum, chrome, or color. And then obviously you have nodes to go along with this. And if you have EMT's lighting pack, then you can get beacons as well. So we can throw a couple on there. I'll show you what they look like. We can even do a couple that are red, or one that's red. Is that all? Yeah. Do a couple that are red so you can see what they look like. Or just one anyway. So there's red up here, red down there, orange over there. So you can actually put beacons on these if you would like to, or just regular lights. So that's always good to know. Then we also have the grill. So this is grill B, this is grill A, and grill A, which is going to be the frame around it, we can do in chrome, we can do it in aluminum, or we can do it also in color. That's a little bit too much color for me. I'd like to at least put in a chrome. And while we're at it, why don't we go ahead and make this grill part chrome as well. That way it's kind of matching the bumper. Good look. So this Kenworth is the Kenworth sign right down here. And we can get that in chrome, aluminum, chrome 2, and aluminum 2. Moving back up here and sticking to the front, a lot of these you might think, a lot of these are for the inside. So we'll go to the logo. So our options here are, in the aluminum variant, we've got black, we've got red, we've got white, and then you also have those same options, chrome black, chrome red, and chrome white. And then this one here, FR hand, those are the handles here. So we can get those in chrome, aluminum, or color. I actually kind of like them in the chrome. We'll just keep the chrome theme going on here. I don't know if there's anything else. I think all of this other stuff is actually inside the... There's quite a few options inside and outside. I was very surprised by that. I thought it was going to be a little bit more basic, but there are I mean, if you look at that, we've got a lot of options to go through. So, obviously, let's take a look at the sun visor. And what we're looking at is chrome and aluminum and color, and you basically have 6 variants of all of them. I'm going to go through and show them all in aluminum. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. And we have a 6th one, I believe. 6 is all we have, right? Yeah, and then we have all of those in chrome. I'll show some more in chrome so you can see that shiny. There's 4, 5, 6, and then I'll show you 4, 5, and 6 in the color as well. For those of you that don't want to look too flashy or anything like that, I'm actually kind of partial to number 4 myself. I like that shape. And I'd probably rather, this is where I don't want to stand out. I'd probably keep it just in the color. That's my preference though. All right, so the horn, we got 3 options. This is the one that I picked, horn number 3. So we might want to go with horn number 2 as another option where it's more rounded off. This one is more rectangle. Not really digging it too much. I'm liking number 2, so let's leave it like that. Cab light, we can pick whatever light you want inside. Why don't we go with green? These are all options that are inside the shield. We'll do the shield in just a second. Turbo wing if you want it. You can get it in color. Keep in mind that if you choose to build it through as an Aerodyne, you get a couple different options. I believe you also get color. I believe you get a couple different options like color and chrome and stuff like that. Only the color option with this cabin. So now that we've done the, let's actually go to that here. So yeah, we'll leave that up there. Beacons, and you actually get a couple different placements here. You can put them in the front or the back, and then you can deal with whatever kind of lights you want on that. So I'd probably just go with the beacon orange. Pretty bland, pretty boring, but that's kind of how I have it set up. It's more realistic in my opinion. So we got the beacons going. Let's see what they look like. We got the beacons in the front too. So let's move on to the exhaust. Lots of different options on the exhaust. Angled, Aussie, bullhorn, curved, shield, CVD, shield ST, and aluminum straight. So let's go through and so all in the aluminums, we've got angled, we've got Aussie, we've got curved, we've got bullhorn, shield CVD, shield ST. So I guess that's straight and curved. And but keep in mind that you don't have, these aren't the only options that you can get with a shield. For example, if I want to go ahead and get bullhorn, the shield isn't there, but keep in mind that there is a separate node just for the shield. Where is it? Yeah, it's right there. So we can also get that either in aluminum or we can get that in the chrome. And we can go through a few more of the options on the exhaust, but I'm pretty sure what we're dealing with, because these are all the chrome versions, you basically just get the 2 in aluminum or all of the variants in chrome or aluminum, but keep in mind you only have the option to put 1. I don't believe there's an option for 2, unless there's another node that I'm missing. Wait a minute. There's the shield. Oh, this is for the left hand. Okay, so yeah. I mean, those don't match, but just showing you that you actually have to do each one of them individually. I don't know how I feel about that. It gives me a lot more opportunity to mess them up so that they're not matching. But interesting. Notice how on either one of these, we're going to get the options on the tips to do black smoke, black smoke fire, white smoke, and then this one is a black smoke, but for a lot of people that said that, you know what, that's just a little bit too much, let's do the low, so it's only coming out a little bit. That might be a little bit better for some of you. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it like that for the build process. Obviously, you would have them matched. Okay, so, and check this out. So this node right here that says Dodkesh, this, I guess, is an option to go if you don't want to do them individually. Is that what we're doing here? It's like a separate set of the exhaust. So maybe you just want to go with more of a low profile. You don't have nearly as many options. Is that kind of what we're doing here? I mean, that isn't the air intake, is it? The filters or anything like that. Doesn't look like anything's going on. I don't know, maybe it is. Someone might want to explain to me why it looks like we've got 2 different variants. But what's crazy here, this must not be the exhaust, because we don't get the nodes on the top like we did before. So that must be our air intake, our air filters and stuff like that. Although they don't, it doesn't look like it. they look like straight pipes. So I don't know. Need a little bit of clarification on that. Okay, so for the stand, that's this section right here. We can get it in color, or you can get it stock. Just leaves it in black. So it's just holding up all the pipes and stuff. We do also have options for the tanks. And in the tanks, I'm just going to go through them. All right, so you get the standard aluminum with or without steps, aluminum 2 with or without steps. And we follow basically the same pattern here with color and with chrome. And we'll go through and we'll look at the options, all 4 of them for color. So color, and then color with steps, color 2, and then color 2 with steps. So if those were in order, that would be that'd be a little bit easier to see at first glance. But good options. Trailer cables, just one option. Deck plating. Now, we can go with aluminum, we can go with chrome, and we can go with color. But keep in mind, there is another option here that we have, and that is the frame. Let's see, color, or we can do stock with the frame. But I believe there's another option. Is it? Oh man, where is it? Or is it only on the other variant that I built? There's another node. There's another node option, and it allows you to turn all of this into rust. That's just for the back end. There's another option. Oh my god. Is it on this chassis only? Let me go ahead and take a look. Yes, it's only on the short chassis. If you click on this frame, so remember the other option we clicked about right here to get the frame, and we had color, chrome, and aluminum. With this shorter chassis, the frame is actually on the kingpin here, and you can have it stock, you can have it color, the whole thing, or the whole thing could be in rust. So it would be kind of cool that if we can get this rust option. Let's see what happens if it sticks with it if I change it back to long. No. And if we look at the options here, it's not there. This is where it was before because it's been moved back. But when I click on frame, I only get color and stock. I do not have the option for rust on the long version. And I guess the idea is if it's long, we're souping it up, I guess. We're making it into a show truck, I guess. Is that kind of the deal? Anyway, let's go ahead and move back to the shorter chassis so that we can go back and claim that rust look. And this is actually a really good rust look. Something I've kind of haven't really voiced before. Well, let me show you. The other thing that you can do, if you type in rust, you'll see that the only other thing that you can choose besides this to turn it to rust, everything else is grayed out, are going to be the wheels. The reason why that comes through for me to change it to rust is because I've got Jasper's wheels on here. And after looking at the color and how everything is faded away and seemingly, this looks like a good rust. And I didn't really notice it too much, but if I go in here and I put in the rust, it just looks like it's kind of spray painted red. It's too red. I try to change the color a little bit by going, I mean, that just kind of makes it darker. If you want to try to get rid of it a little bit, blue tends to help a little bit. Go towards a lighter color, and it changes it a little bit, but it's still what you're talking about, is you're still just talking about a red color. This doesn't look as realistic on the Jasper wheels. This rust is actually done really good. Again, EMT mods or EMT modding, I really wish that you would give me that option on this longer version chassis as well. Also, it makes it a little bit confusing when you put options on one and not on the other. I get that you probably wouldn't be doing rust on a long chassis because the long chassis is like something that's been built up, but still just for a little bit of clarification and to make the options a little bit easier. So I guess we'll leave some rust and some not. No, we'll just do them all rust, but we'll make them different wheels, different sizes. This will be our like clown truck. Mud flaps here. Let's go through Kenworth 1, Kenworth 2, Kenworth 3, 4, 5, 6, and stock. So lots of different options there. I believe we also have fender options, right? Yep. And we have a few in here. Looks like we've got aluminum. Or do we have 10 different variants? They're just all out of order. Yeah, we have 10 aluminum variants, and it looks like we're going to get 10 chrome options, and we're going to get 10 color options. So let's go ahead and we'll look at it probably in the chrome, because I want chrome on here. Here's number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So those are your variations. I don't know why those go out of order. Don't know exactly why that happens. Oh, well, it's probably just because there's no number here. Then it finds the 1. So it's putting the 1 in the 10 before the 2. That makes sense. So those are our options for there. Let's see if we have any more options here that I haven't. We've got cab panels, and we've got some side flares. So oh man, you can put side flares everywhere on this. Wow. Up here on the front, up on the sides. You've already done it on the grill. You've got light options across the visor. You've got it on the top for the cab lights. You can put a ton of different lights on here. Air filters. Okay, here we go. Maybe that's what's going to attach onto here. Aluminum. Aluminum. Yeah, let's get rid of it. So we have to get, okay, the filters are down there. Wow. Another one that says aluminum. Chrome. Chrome. I've never seen them down here. Is that a normal thing? Color. Color. So, so does that mean we lose the exhaust on the, we can only have exhaust on one side, or can we also put a filter here? Cab panels. It looks like the filter goes on one side and the pipe goes on the other. Then what are these in the middle? Is this just for having a uniform set? Why don't these have the tips where we can add the smoke to them? I'm confused on that. I need some clarification. And it might just be my deal. What is this? Rubber. Okay, so we actually have, so in aluminum, we get it in chrome. That's this piece here. Color and stock. So this is probably like a black rubber. Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense now. Mud flaps. Stock. So we would have to get rid of our filter. I don't like that. If that's the only position for the filter, you're making it so that if they put the mud flaps there, I can't have an air filter. That seems a little odd to me. Or unless maybe I did something wrong. Let's go back to the air filter and we'll choose the first option, or one of these. Okay, that's it. You can have the air filter, but it has to be moved further back. If you have it moved forward, you cannot have the mud flap. Okay, so you still can have it. Still kind of confused on why it makes this one disappear, though. That's just saying. Okay, that looks like pretty much all the options for the outside. There are quite a bit inside. Engine and transmission are to your liking. Let's go ahead and look at the interior. Interior looks looks pretty decent. I do have I have some issues. So for those of you that are comparing this to the K100e from Mr. Overfloater, just kind of keep in mind that this is a completely different layout, gauge layout, and everything is looking like with all the screws here. It looks like a different model. So it's not something that is just ripped right off of the free version and used as the base. This actually looks pretty unique. I wasn't sure that was going to be the case, but I am sure now. I would like to see a little bit higher quality in the gauges and in different parts too. Like it's a little rough around the edges up here. Speaker's looking pretty good. I like the tufting. Looks pretty good. There's some tufting here on the side too, if we can see it. And that actually looks like it's got texture. It looks like 3D. But this looks like it was a flat image. There's no texture. There's no depth. And it looks like maybe the image was like half that size, but it was blown up, so it looks a little bit pixelated. But this small little bend here, it doesn't look right. This is very distracting. So yeah, I wish that could, and I wish we could get some different options here with the chrome and the bezels on the gauges and stuff like that. Speaking of options, let's kind of get into them real fast. We do have options for the steering wheel. This one was just kind of set here by default. And I wish I had an option for this wheel in black. That would be great. There are a bunch of other options for the steering wheels, and I was actually hoping that I would have some in one of these sets, but this set that I have, so this is Sissel. They have a Freightliner, Mack, Mercedes, Peterbilt, Scania, Volvo, and Western Star, but no option for the Kenworth. EMT Mods, I think maybe we should get a black steering wheel. I'm just saying, it kind of takes away from the whole feel, because it's not going to match up with hardly anything else. You can go and change the wood here. We can get black, we can get crimson, new wood, old wood, regal blue, sandstone, silver gray, and walnut. I'm actually digging the walnut, but this wheel kind of stands out. I think having a black version would be great. Driver's plate, normal stuff, main mirrors, we'll go ahead and get to it. So what's going on here is if you click on the first one, then you're going to get the option that has this convex mirror. And if you pick option 2, it goes away. And you get that in aluminum, you get it in chrome, and you get it in color. So 6 different variants. But I want to show you right here. Here's the variation without the convex, and here's the variation with it. There is no way that I can see that. Again, I'm going to click on it again. This is just on the aluminum variant. Aluminum 2, the convex mirror will go away right now. And then we'll click back on the other option for the convex. How am I supposed to see that? Was it like this in the real truck? Am I supposed to sit like 15 feet up off the chair? There have been some mirrors that have been very difficult to see, but you have to imagine the bottom of it is coming around about right here, where 90% of that mirror is hidden by the door. And that is the absolute worst placement of a mirror in American Truck Simulator that I've seen so far. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it can get corrected. And as we go on the drive, I'm going to show you the other issue that I have with the mirror. And between this and that convex mirror is pretty useless, to be honest. But we have tons of notes, because I'm not here to just rip this apart. I'm giving some feedback. 2 reasons. To EMT Mods, these are some things that are kind of like make or break, I would consider. Some of these things are my opinions, like the bezels and stuff. What is not my opinion is this flat sheet that has no texture and is pixelated. That is a non-starter. That's not my opinion. People are not going to want to see that. They're going to want to have this convex mirror and be able to see a little bit more than 10% of it. That's like a non-starter. But I'm not just tearing this up. I am giving my opinion for those who are on the fence. People that purchased the 9600 International, for example, and they're wondering, what's the deal? Is this to the same spec? Because it is a $32 truck. It's not like it's not cheap. It's not like $80 or something like Pisters, but $32. A lot of people don't have the money to just spend on all these mods, and they want to see what's going on. But at this point, I want to point out, look how many different options we have. And some of these, yes, some of these are co-driver's plate. Some of these are the console items, the seat items, and this floor item. Let me see here. I can change this up. So this is changing the color. It still just looks like a flat sheet. Like there's no texture. Shouldn't this like fold in around the plastic? It's just, It's not doing it for me. It's not doing it for me. But a lot of these things, you can actually change the color on them. And we're going to have the same colors all the way through on all of this stuff. Black, crimson, regal blue, sandstone, silver gray, velvet. That is a cool texture. I wish I had this velvet in another color. I'm pretty sure that just by the nature of it, maybe only bright colors are going to translate. Like if you did a brown, maybe you wouldn't be able to get all the texture because it's really the shadows here that are helping you create that texture. This is really cool. I wonder how that would look in a blue or in a brown or something like that. But that is cool, and I haven't really seen that. Bed items are pretty standard, but look at how many different places in the truck we can change the color. I'm just going to go ahead and make this regal blue because I want to highlight for you how many different ways we can change the color. We can even do the seat belts. Should we leave those crimson or blue or gray? Yeah. Let's do crimson. We have this interior light. We already did that. Your options are blue, green, orange, purple, red, and white. I like that you have a white option. Usually what you're going to see standard, unless anything aftermarket, is you're going to see white or you're going to see amber or orange. So that's really cool. Up top here, let's go ahead and change this. Let's change this one to silver gray. We've got another option up here across this whole way. Let's go ahead and do that in walnut. Or silver gray? Nah, let's go with walnut. Sun visor we already did. I didn't point this out, did I? Dash. The dashboard, so the framing around all of this wood node, because we did the wood node, the dash around it, black, crimson, regal blue, sandstone, silver gray, walnut. Pretty cool. I actually do kind of like the walnut. Maybe we'll just leave that like that. I think we can also change that part. Dashboard sets, unvar, what is that? Regal blue? Yeah, so that basically does, see, that's weird. It's only just that section, but not this under section. Anyway, we'll leave it a different color so you can see how many things there are. This I was not expecting at all. Let's make that velvet. That's kind of cool. Side, what does it say? Side D. Let's go sandstone. And we'll go with side A. Let's go black. And look, you can even do the stitching. I think this is the stitching right here. If we do it in, let's do this one in crimson. Yeah, it's the stitching. That is so cool. So I haven't really seen that before. All of these nodes, all of these different color options for pretty much every part of the inside, plus detail on colored stitching along here. Super cool. By the way, you can also make this element. You can make that crimson. You can make it black. Let's go with old wood. Or we would probably want to keep it matching with that. We'll go with the walnut. So I'm kind of mixed here. There are so many different nodes. So many, you got different textures. You got different colors. You can specify this any way you want. All of these pillars. I believe the pillars changed too. Where is that? I think it's this one. Yeah, so these front pillars, so you're looking at this section, it's in black, or we can do that in silver gray if we want, or we can do that in the same walnut. Probably matches a little bit better. So many different options, and then at the same time, we have like really obvious, and now that we change color, we're starting to see imperfections. I don't mind that at all. But look at this tufting. You can see that there's texture. It looks 3D. Same way here down here in the panel. You can see that there's texture here. This is a flat 2D surface. So I'm a little torn. If the mirror was fixed, if this didn't look so 2D, if there was any depth to it at all, the interior would be amazing. Bonuses, let's get a little bit better, higher quality here on the gauges and all of these. Maybe an option for a paint or a black plastic would be cool. This is a bonus. No one's really looking up here too much, so that's not a huge priority, I would say. No shifter option. That's okay with me. It does have a GPS, windshield corner. So this one's kind of weird. This first, so you'll have 2 or 3 right in this position, and then 1 way over here. So I do have to kind of look. I would have expected it to be kind of in the corner, but you know, these 2 are Sissel. The ones that he's actually designed are right here with the phone. I chose the phone. It's a little small, but the other one's getting in my vision too much. I want it to be a little bit lower kind of in this area so that it doesn't block out too much of the road, so we're not hitting cars and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of a little tour of the K100c by EMT Mods. And this is just kind of a hodgepodge to show you what it's looking like. And you'll see what I've put together. But lots of pros, a few cons. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. This is a $32 truck. For $32, what I need to see, like, there's always like really cool things. What I need to see is that interior, that center section. I'm going to be looking at that the whole time I'm driving. That needs to actually be a 3D object instead of just whatever this is. It just looks like an image that's placed there. The other thing is the mirror. Not just for the fact that I can't see 90% of it, but the mirror quality is also, it's kind of a make or break, and I'll show that to you on the drive, which we're going to do in a few minutes. Overall, though, look at how many options we have on the inside. Look at how many options we have on the outside. And you're going to have to prioritize this based on what is more important for you. There's a couple people that would buy a $32 truck like this. If you are buying it for all of the options that you have on the inside and out, hands down, no question. No question. Lots of good detail and lots of options. For people like me, it's not that I don't like options. Who doesn't like options? But what's more important to me is the feel when I'm inside the cab. I drive a lot from the inside, as you see in my videos, and almost exclusively when I'm doing it off camera. So imperfections in some of these things, not having options for different bezels, that's a little bit more important to me. The overall quality of what I'm missing on that center console area is just like glaring. So I'm not saying I'm not going to drive this truck. I've already kind of mentioned if those things were cleaned up, if I can see the convex mirror on the passenger side, like right now I just have to pretty much do away with it. It's completely useless. Then if those things were cleaned up, this would be a great truck and well worth the $32. Right now, it's just kind of a bummer because they're so central to the overall function of the truck that I'm not getting, and it's kind of a bummer. I'm not saying I'm recommending this. I'm not saying I'm not recommending it. You do with that what you will. You're going to have to figure out what is more of a priority. Options are on this. Quality is on this. And it could be upped a little bit more on the interior, especially for people like me, where that's where I drive from. Anyway, just my thoughts. You find out what is going to work best for you. We covered the inside, outside. We covered the chassis, the cab, engine, and transmission is your preference. If you look at the mod, you can go into the folders so that you can find out what the truck name is. It's readily available, so you can put your own engines and transmissions in it. But I think that pretty much wraps up the build section. Let me go ahead and show you what I built, and we'll take a short drive. Okay, so for the drive today, we are here in Nogales, Arizona. We're going to take it to Casa Grande. We have construction debris, and it is 40,000 pounds, which is going to be, it's going to be probably towards the top end of what I would like to do. Here's what the truck that I built looks like, and I went with the rust option because I think it's cool. Not many of them have that rust option. Maybe Outlaws, I believe it was his 359, and you could put certain bits of his on his W900 as well. But I went with the Aerodyne Sleeper. We have that like this truck that everything is pretty much done in aluminum because everyone's doing it in chrome. We're trying to simulate like, hey, I just found this truck and it needs a lot of work, and it's always cool to be able to have that option to RP. So very good with very good job EMT Mods for being able to do that. There's our construction debris in there in the back. The trailer is a free trailer from Sartana Modding. It is the Lufkin dump trailer, right? What is it called? It's called the... Where is it? Yeah, the Lufkin dump trailer. It just says dump trailer on his site, but this is how you know it when you go to build it. And it comes in a tarnished version, a dirty, used, mangled version, as well as one that looks clean. So we're going for an old and used setup here today. The engine is going to be from David Steele. It is a Cat 3306. That is right, a 3306. Back from, I want to say the 70s or the 80s. No, probably like 70s. 350 horsepower. It's the highest horsepower option. I think there was one for like 230 horsepower or something. I want to be realistic, but let's be honest. 230. I'm probably not going to be taking more than some railroad. What is that one cargo? Like the wheels or something from a train or something like that. That's only like 13,000 pounds or something like that. Anyway, 10 speed, keeping it real basic, 3.7 differential, and the initial drive on this I believe is 14 or 15 to 1. So put that together with a 3.7 differential, what it means is we're going to hit 10th gear on this 10 speed, going 35 miles an hour, and it eventually, with a little bit of wind behind you and downhill, we get up to 50 miles an hour is pretty much how this runs. Of course, the other load that I did, I ran that with, the load was only 33,000 pounds, so we may even only top out at around 45. We'll see what happens. Let's get going. All right, we're in the truck here.
Let's get going. The leaders of many foreign nations await your arrival.
Thank you, Morgan. Before we get going, I want to show you the other issue that I had related to the mirror. I don't have the that convex mirror because you can't see it. I have my mirror quality on medium. I experimented, pumped it all the way up just to see what happened. I obviously got my frames hit a little bit. But I usually keep it on medium. That is the quality in the mirror. It is not like that in any other truck. And let me show you. And notice how, see, I've got that issue again. The screen is going to be flashing every now and then. And every time it flashes, it's going to take me out of gear. That happens about every 30 seconds. Not sure what's going on there. It didn't happen earlier. Look at the mirror, and I'm going to use the zoom mirror, and look at what happens to the quality. It's straight up Atari. It's straight up Atari. That is not acceptable. It's very hard to use the mirrors that way. I mean, I can kind of see it, but it's like, I don't know. It's like ATS version 0.2. EMT Mods, please clear up this mirror thing going on and make it so we can see the convex mirror over there. Anyway, enough griping about that. Let's go ahead and get rolling. See it? See how it flickered right there? Now I'm going to take my foot off the accelerator and watch what happens. What gear do I go into? Neutral. Haven't moved the stick. I have to reset it every time when it flickers like that. About every 30 seconds or so. And that box comes up too. So I have to get rid of that every time. I'll leave that other box up at the top. The route advisor, so you can see what gear I'm in. 5th gear, and I'm just, see how I was right like a millisecond before I switched. If I take my foot off the gas, okay, I was already making the transition to it.
Keep right, and then turn right.
6th gear in the upper range, and I'm coming up on 15 miles an hour. So this thing is slow. This thing is way slow. Please tell me you guys are seeing that flicker. If you don't, rewind it. But, well, don't rewind it, because you're going to see it again. The sound kind of cuts out. There it is. If I take my foot off the gas, I'm still in the same gear. It goes to neutral. I have to reset it manually.
Turn left.
And it automatically defaults me to the low range. So I have to take I was in high range. I had to move it to low range and then move it to high range and then back to my gear. And it's going to happen about every 30 seconds. I still don't have it resolved. I thought it was one of the devices that I recently added. It was the Octavi that I showed you when I was kind of giving you a tour of my office. And it's not that, because that one is completely unplugged. This is just disconnecting. So I have to go low range, high range, and back into gear. This is how often I'm doing this. Anyway, let's get out and see a little bit more on the truck.
Continue straight.
Get some details here, because this is what it's all about. Are we still going straight? I think we're going straight, right? Yeah, let's go straight for a while. I chose the white smoke, not the minimal one, not the low version. This is like, I want plenty of smoke. And in fact, I probably should have done black smoke for the low range, high range, back into gear. That's what I have to do when I drive now. Weird enough, I drove this earlier and I didn't have that issue. I had it last night, I'm having it right now, but I didn't have it earlier today. So I'm thinking it might have to do, maybe it's a heat issue, because I've just been using it more. I don't know. You can see the smoke in the mirror, that's pretty cool. Of course, if I zoom in on it, it's a little better quality than that one. That's just too pixelated. Upper range, lower range, upper range. Okay. It's getting a little old. It's getting a little old. I got to figure out what this problem is. Once you get into here, some of the imperfections that I was noticing, you don't really see too much because you're in the shadow a little bit. So they don't. In other words, it kind of drives a little bit better. Really do wish I had a black version of the steering wheel, but that's not a make or break. Just need to be able to see that mirror. I need to be able to see the quality down there. Low range, high range, back into gear. Got to get that fixed. Anyone know what that could possibly be? Let me know if you've run into that where it's flickering for you. The detail that was kind of washed out, especially on the chrome around all of the buttons on the dash, isn't as noticeable anymore. So, and it's definitely a unique dash. If I could put some different bezels on it too, kind of make it more my own, I think this would be good. There are enough options on this, and it's unique enough that I see the value in it compared to the K100e. Now the K100e is kind of a unicorn, because the quality and the number of options that you get for a free truck is really, really good. So for some people that are saying it's too similar, I get it. In my opinion, I kind of have a different feel when I'm sitting inside the cab, and if a lot of those other things that I mentioned were cleaned up, this would be well worth $32. But I would like to see those changed. So I think I'm going to go ahead and skip forward. We're going to do a little bit more from the outside so you can see the outside, and then I'm going to go ahead and skip forward a little bit, because every 30 seconds with this thing twitching and knocking me out of gear is a little rough. So anyway, I'll see you when we are dropping off. Okay, guys, so it kept flashing at me and eventually just sputtered and crashed to the desktop. So that is where I am right now. Looks like my next game or my next video might be on the flight simulator if I can't get this worked out. It has something to do, unless it's going to start happening on the flight simulator as well. It's something to do, I don't know, a program or something that it's cutting off every single one of my USB inputs, and now it's causing it to crash the desktop. So can't show you the delivery. Is what it is. The good thing is you got to see all the build options for the K100c from EMT Mods. You got to see what it's like driving around and stuff on the outside. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. The goal wasn't really to deliver something in the grand scheme of things. So thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you can see all of my videos. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.